Had a little incident at the gym this morning, Nate.
What what was it?
It was a flash.
Of your penis?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
I was outside at the gym.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was out.
Wait, did you have them like Speedos? How did it
No.
Okay.
I didn't have on Speedos. I had on sweatpants.
Uh-huh.
And I went to make an adjustment.
Mhm.
You know, it's normal.
Mhm.
And either like the drawstring on the sweatpants failed me,
Mhm.
or I didn't realize how strong I was in that moment from having just put the weights down.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, when I went to make the adjustment,
It went down too.
I was a little too aggressive. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, I think I'm really getting old. This is old people shit. This is not, what is this? Like, I don't know the distance to pull my pants down anymore. They didn't tell me about this. Yo, I was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
embarrassed
God.
too.
There were no kids there. Let's just
Okay.
be clear.
All right.
It's not like a huge gym.
Mhm.
It's a private gym.
All right.
I was the only one in there.
Okay.
However, there are cameras
That is true.
everywhere.
Mm.
And I really don't think there's much else to do when you're in the gym
Mhm.
at 6 something in the morning. So the security just watching you
Oh yeah,
in the
they're
gym.
watching.
Yeah.
100%.
That's not helping, Nate.
'Cause I would be.
Let me tell you something. Security got way more than they bargained for today. I'm sure I'm gonna get an email about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
stop flashing the security guards from the gym in the morning. Wink, wink. Oh my God, maybe I put myself on a list.
Did you make eye contact when you left out?
With who?
The
With the
security.
cameras? So they could think I did it on purpose? No, I was embarrassed. I didn't even want to finish my workout.
I feel like I probably would have been in the camera like, my bad. Like,
That's kind of like what I did.
okay.
Like, yeah, like I just stood, I stopped for a second. I was like, whoa. And I looked around. I was happy no one was there. Then I remembered the cameras and I made eye contact with the camera. And of course, in my mind, in that moment, he was looking back at me.
Mhm.
And there we are. We
Yeah.
connected. I'm sorry to the security team. It was an accident. I felt really bad about that. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It was like a nip slip. I guess I had a.
Yeah.
It happens, right? It's
Okay. Tip slip. It wasn't the tip though. It was the whole thing. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, and you had to go down. Like that's you really would think I did that on purpose. I don't know what happened, man. It's not the first time that's happened to me, but at least this time it didn't go viral.
Okay. All right.
All right. Woo! Welcome to In the Moment.
I'm in the moment. Stay in the moment. Yeah, hey, look, check. I'm in the moment. They try to hold me down, I just re-up and then I just reload it. Yeah, hey, look, stay in the moment. They try to hold you down, you just re-up and then you just reload it.
I'm your host, Mo Mitch. That is my co-host, Nate. This is episode 269, I believe. That sounds about right. We are producerless today, so we might go off the rails. But I'm also going to be very vulnerable today. Today is vulnerable day. I can just feel it. It's just the way that my day has been going.
Okay.
I got a couple phone calls that shook me up a little bit. You and I had a conversation. One of my good friends had a conversation. And the way the conversation's all going today, it is vulnerable day.
Okay.
But I'm here to help somebody today. Any of the listeners who struggle with emotions and feelings and reacting in ways that you later regret, today is your day. I got you today.
Okay.
Now, a couple updates before we get started. I went to the studio. I forgot to mention that last week. A lot of listeners were asking me if I'm going to keep working on music. Yes. I went back to the studio. I recorded a few songs. I don't think I'm going to work on an album.
Oh, okay.
I did go back on my word technically, though, because I said I was retired. And I don't think anyone ever retires from music. That is a true statement. You may retire from putting albums out, but you always want to create. And yes, I did make a couple records about, you can say about some of the things I'm going through in life.
All right.
And I think I'm going to play one for you today
Okay.
on Patreon. See what you think. The Ugly Sweater Party.
Yeah.
We are having a party.
We are having a party.
December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some tickets go flying. Thank you to everyone who has purchased a ticket. A lot of y'all have not purchased tickets yet because I know how many people listen to the podcast. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we waiting for?
Come on, Atlanta, get it together.
All right, we need you to purchase tickets. We want y'all to be there. The early bird specials are going now. We tried to give them to you for a little cheaper, but you can still get a good deal before you get them at the door. They're going to go up at the door, so get them now while it's on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And while the party's on my mind, we were asked, what should our drink special names be?
Yeah.
So I'm either going to go with the Mimosa or the Mojito.
Okay.
You decided to go with hairy nipples.
Yep.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. You know how when you were younger and you got teased for different things and you've become insecure about different things?
Mm.
You know, when you have these flaws or these things that you feel insecure about, you need to embrace them. Because once you do that, people can't make you feel bad about it, you know?
I do.
So I have hairy nipples is what I'm trying to say.
You know, I wasn't aware of that, obviously. And some things I just don't need to know. Some things are better left unsaid.
Mm-hmm.
We disagree on that. Very much so. I think we should bring secrets back. We have very different takes on embrace. Now, to a certain extent, because if I've ever been made fun of anything my entire life, it's been my legs. So
Okay.
I hate it. Now I hate wearing shorts.
What
People
about your
won't shut
legs?
up.
Because they're
just
skinny?
Yeah.
Yeah, like me. I can't get any I can't wear knee-high boots. My legs just floating around.
You should be swimming in them. Right? Yeah. And there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Calf raises, squats. I've done it all. I can squat more than you. All the things. My legs won't grow.
Shout
Whatever.
out to everybody who's got chicken legs.
It's nothing you can do. I get it. It's just the whole skip leg day. It gets old, fam. Like, no, I didn't. Actually, I'm doing it twice a week, and these shits ain't growing. I'm going through a whole nother pain than you could ever imagine, right? And so, cool. You should embrace that, right? And I have to embrace it. Unfortunately, you can't wear jeans to the beach. You look wild. So you have to embrace it. Other flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to support your video
Oh,
when you posted about the party.
right.
And I saw that it was 45 minutes long. Right? No, it was 5. I saw your face. In social media days today, that's 45 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
I said I'm going to watch every minute.
Oh.
So there I am. And then at some point in the video, it got to your hairy nipples. Y'all, it was raining here in the video. I'm talking, Christmas is supposed to be about letting it snow. When I said, Nate, I just see her hand, and it just wouldn't stop.
I tweezed my nipple hairs. And I put them in my hand so that y'all can see.
You did.
Yeah.
And I struggled to get through. I struggled, but I did. I supported you, and I'm all for the cause, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
You're setting your people up here.
Uh-huh.
Because what do you think is going to happen when I hear somebody go, yeah, let me get 2 hairy nipples? Yo, I asked for my hairy nipples while I'm waiting. I'm thirsty. Can somebody please bring me a hairy nipple?
And then I run around the corner.
Merry Christmas. I am judging each and every one of you that orders a hairy nipple.
Everybody has to get a hairy nipple, at least one, at the party. So you got to get your tickets so you can be there to get your hairy nipples. We're going to have board games. We're going to have games, party games, vision boards, drinks, music, food, the whole thing.
You literally named it all. I mean, drinks is going to be a good time, and it's going to be very entertaining, and it's something that I am hoping we can do annually.
Yeah.
But we need y'all to do that. We need your support. So please come out and support us. The links are all over our social medias, and I'll also post it in the description so that you can see it here on the video. Thank y'all.
And don't forget your ugly sweater.
And your ugly friend. Everybody's welcome. I'm going on tour.
Congratulations. I
Thank
saw
you.
you posted the dates.
I did. Finally, we got 7 dates now. I think 4 ticket links, 7 dates. We are going to be, right now, off the top of my head, New York, Nashville, Charlotte, Memphis, Brussels, Virginia, Denver, Atlanta, of course. Yeah, we're going to be all over the place.
Okay. All right.
So if
I can make some of those.
I hope you can make as many as you can.
Yeah.
I think DC, we're trying to get one there as well. And I'm really excited about Brussels. I didn't know we had listeners in Brussels. Shout out to y'all.
Hey, Brussels.
It's lit. It's going down. I'm going to come out there and be funny. But yeah, so look out for that as well. Get your tickets. I'm posting it all over my social media, and it starts in January, running throughout the year. I'm going to be everywhere, coming to a town near you. I had a Zoom call with some Patronizers. Top Patronizers.
Oh, that's
On
fun.
Friday. Yeah, we kicked it for like 30 minutes. Everybody was all over the place. I think one of the Patronizers was in DR.
Mm.
Another one was going to Morocco for their birthday. It was just a good time. It was nice to just sit down and talk to the people who support me the most.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I'm trying to think of what came up. I think the toughest question to answer was was about Keity.
Okay.
I was honest. I was authentic. Of course, I told them there's a chapter coming
Mm-hmm.
on Patreon, but I let them know where the relationship stands now. I was authentic about that and kind of how it got to where it did. But I'll go more into that, obviously, on my Patreon at a later time. Oh, someone brought up your white man dance.
Okay.
That seemed to make a lasting impression.
I will be doing that all night at the party.
There you go. There you go. And that's on the house. That's free. You know, speaking of Keity and the Zoom call, I had this conversation with an OG of mine. He's like a mentor. And this dude is like really wise. He's been through a lot. And I just always love kicking it with him. And it's very rare though that we get to talk. And I'd been trying to get in touch with him for a while. And finally, he got a hold of me. And we started kicking it. And I was just catching him up with a lot of things that were going on in my life. And he said something to me that kind of rocked me. He was like, do you remember years ago when we talked and you was on the show and you were struggling with adapting? And I asked you, I said, do you know how many people admire you and love you and look up to you and feel willing to fight for you? And I was like, yeah, I do remember that. I remember that conversation. And he said, what did you say? And I said, no. He said, you said no. I always remembered you saying no. He said, because it baffled me how somebody in your position could not know that, could not feel that. But it was a reminder to him that sometimes the people we admire the most, they don't feel what you think they feel. They too busy in the fight, right?
Mhm.
And he said, why did you say no? You remember why? And I was like, yeah, because I just didn't feel it. It's not that I didn't think it existed. I just didn't feel it, right?
Mhm.
And radio is a little different in that regard because you're not sitting in the room with the people all the time, right? When you go outside, it's a different experience. That's when you realize the internet is not real and you're loved. And, you know, that's a beautiful feeling. So I asked him, like, why are you bringing it up? And he said, because it plays a huge role in everything that you have been telling me. I said, how? He said, well, I'll ask you now. Do you know how much you're loved and appreciated and looked up to? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, what changed? I said, well, I think some of it is the years that have gone by in radio and a lot of the events, being outside, you know, and being around the people in the community and talking to the people who listen and support. And you can feel it. And leaving was the biggest one, the departure, because like anything else in my life, like I always say to y'all, I'm ready to go. Whatever the circumstances, I'm gonna always be ready to leap. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter. And when I leaped, I didn't think twice at all. When it's time, it's time. I'm old enough to understand that. When the universe is saying it's time, because I don't want the universe to feel like it has to force the situation. I've been there. Trying to do it on my own now.
Mm-hmm.
And to leap like that, in the back of your mind, even though you're brave and you're confident, you still know that you're leaping. And to see so many people underneath with their hands out, like, we got you. What we doing? We got you. We here for you. We love you. We support you. We don't even know what happened. And I know you're going to tell us one day, but until then, we got you. Because we know it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was everything. Because it was the reminder of, oh yeah, I can't let them down. We've come too far together.
Mm-hmm.
I've accomplished too much to let them down, right? Whether that's 4 people or 4 million people. Whomever those people are that took my experience from that show and said, I'm riding with him. From what I can see from here, I'm riding with him. He had, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm never letting them down.
Yeah.
Ever. Like that's the goal now. And that's going to help me, help them, help us. That's the way I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I will never forget that feeling. Because I think in anything in life, when you have to walk away from something that has had an impact in your life, one way or another, and for years, one thing about me, I never let anything become me, right? I'm here to help, but it's not going to become who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's always separate. That's always reserved for me. And when you have to walk away from that, whether that a job, a relationship, whatever, the support, that's when you really find out who's who and what's what. That's what they always say.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see that coming. I was completely prepared to feel as if I'm on my own. That's how I felt my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The listeners wouldn't let me feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about that felt that way. They was like, no, you need to tell us what's happening because we going.
Yeah.
And that's when I felt it.
Yeah, I remember reading some of the comments, and a lot of people were like, I'm not going to listen to the show anymore because he's gone. He's the only reason why I was still there. So, yeah, they love you.
And that's a beautiful thing. And I was able to say to him this time around, years later, yes, I answered that question honestly both times and saw growth in that and saw beauty in that. And he said, well, I'm saying that to you because now that you see it, now that you know it exists, now that you feel it, you can operate as if it does. You couldn't do that back then because you didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. But now that you do, can you understand how if someone is next to you and they don't feel as if they're getting the same love and the same appreciation and the same respect and the same whatever else, how eventually that might cause them to do some shit to you out of jealousy?
Mm-hmm.
I said, whoa. Yeah. He said, you got to look at it like this. There was a point in time when you were receiving that amount of love and you weren't grateful. And it wasn't because you didn't appreciate it. It's because you didn't know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever not been grateful for not being loved? Did you know that exists when it was happening? And I was like, yeah. I was very well aware
Mm-hmm.
of what it felt like to not be loved, And he said something to me like, you got to understand, I'm not saying it makes it right. But the majority of people, if they want and desire love and attention, like most of us do, and someone is getting it just a little bit more, or maybe the quality of it is a little bit better, it's easier for most people to then do something to make people love that person less. They'd rather take the effort to try to change your reputation or attack your character so that other people will stop loving you as much, because that's much easier to do than to put all of that effort into themselves to get the people to love them as much as they already love you.
100%. I get it.
I had chills.
Mm.
And it felt like I had heard that before in a lot of different angles, but for some reason, in that moment, I had this grace come over me that I wasn't prepared for. Like, suddenly, I wasn't as upset with some of these people for doing some of the things they've done. Now, I'm still disgusted by it. Don't get it twisted. The actions, right, of what that made you do, I will always think is disgusting. But there is some grace there in that's just true. Most people are not going to have that level of whatever it takes to say, you know what? I wasn't meant to be LeBron James. I got to pivot. I wasn't meant to be Jay-Z. I got to pivot. I wasn't meant to be Dave Chappelle. I got to pivot. But I just could never see myself saying I got to make y'all hate him so that you'll love me. But that's what so many people did. And you know what, Nate? That's what they were supposed to do. Like I thought about when I was a boy and I would go get those army men. When I got those army men in the crib, I didn't make them dance. They fought. They were soldiers. They did what they were supposed to do. When I got the wrestling men, they wrestled. What I thought when I got older haters was going to do? Love? You know, and I'm saying that to anybody who sometimes struggles with, why did that person handle this situation like that? Why did I have to go through that? That's what they were supposed to do. And you doing what you're supposed to do, right? The only time I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do was when I was letting it affect me. When I was getting to the point where I was going to let it stop me. You know, that's the only time you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They supposed to be mad. They're supposed to be hating. They're supposed to do all the things they're doing. And it messed me up because I'm like, yo, that's the whole reason that I have this tattoo. Was from watching the scene of Jesus carrying the cross.
Okay.
And everybody stoning him and trying to attack him and stop him. And his whole goal was to just get the cross across. That's how I received the message. And in that moment, it was like, I want that on my body as a constant reminder as I go throughout life that there's one goal. Whatever your cross is that you are trying to get across, that's the goal. Whether that's your family, your life, and when everybody's trying to stop you, it's just a reminder that you just keep going. And it doesn't have to make sense.
Yep.
I just thought that was an interesting conversation and it was powerful. And it's just a reminder to just keep going. Keep going, no matter what. You know, one of the things I always think is funny?
Tell me.
I normally do not speak on parenting.
Okay.
And that is because parents will always tell you, you don't have kids. Shut up. And you got to eat that. At the same time, I think it's funny because I've been a kid.
Okay.
And I may not be able to tell you how to parent, but I can certainly tell you some shit my parents did wrong.
Okay.
And I think parents should be willing to learn from that. You may not have kids, but you've been a kid.
Yeah.
And this is not at all to go at my parents. This is just, I thought to myself, I don't have any funny stories to share today. Just don't. Was that kind of weak for me. So what do I want to use my platform to do? And I don't know why, but this hit me. 3 things that I learned growing up and as a kid that I wish I didn't.
Okay.
Where I think my life would be very different had I not learned those 3 things. And I want to share that in case people who have kids, maybe you can use it. The first.
Stay in the moment. Yeah, hey, look, check, I'm in the moment. Hey, look, stay in the moment.
The way I was disciplined. I think getting ass whoopings told me that violence was okay when you were trying to get a point across.
Mm.
And I don't think that's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ass whooping itself, I never liked that. I could never see myself doing it. I couldn't hit my kids when I have them. But again, people are going to say, where do you have them? I just can't see it. But I do think a lot of the violence that came in my life was from it. That's how it was reinforced to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, think about that, right? When you're young and your parents say you to do something and you don't do it, and then you come home and they beat your ass for it. Well, when you go to school and you ask for somebody to do something and they don't do it, you think it's all right, like, to put your hands on them.
Well,
you're young.
You're young. Yes. I got it.
It just if you don't see violence, if you're not around violence, if it's not a reoccurring thing in your house, I think there's a good chance it may not be outside of it either. A better chance. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is sleep with all the women you can.
Right.
I think that was a horrible lesson.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that should continue. And I know we champion that as men, but now as a grown man, I wish somebody would have told me, go find your person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's worth you just going to find. Like, you're not going to regret. Because that's what the message was when you're young. You're going to regret, yo, when you get married, it's over. So you got to go get it. Right? You got to go get it. You got to go stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm sleeping with everybody, daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking back at that like, yo, he was really telling me that.
Yeah.
That was normal. That's like and there is so much trauma that came from dating some of the women I dated that I would have never experienced if I had some guidance to say, yo, every one of the relationships you're getting in, you're not going to leave with everything you came in it with. Something going to go. And then by the time you get to your person, you're going to have some work to do. You behind now. I don't know how to trust a woman. By the time I had a woman I should trust, I didn't know how to do it. You see what I'm saying? And had I just been a little more aware of how all of that wasting time with the wrong people could make it so much more difficult for you to prepare for the right person. I just wish somebody would have told me that.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? And the last one, which ties into me wanting to talk about this book that I just read, is that you have to react to everything.
Okay.
I think that was also toxic.
Oh, I thought you were saying the book told you that. I
No.
was going to say, you shouldn't finish reading it.
No. No, the book teaches you the complete opposite.
Okay.
The book is called The Power of Not Reacting, How to
Okay.
Control Your Emotions. And it's a very powerful book.
I have not read it, but I feel like I am already there. I feel like I'm pretty.
You have to stop this.
I do.
Yeah, wait. How you know you there
Because
and you haven't read the book?
You literally just said, like, you can't react to everything. And I don't feel like I
That's
do.
the title of the book. There's a little bit more.
Okay, because I was going to say, trust me. Trust me.
Yeah. They said, I'm there, baby. There's nothing you got for me. Okay. Oh, that's the kind of confidence I'm talking about, though. That's beautiful. No. Yes, that is the basis of it. Yes, is to control your emotions. And I was excited to read this book. I was so excited. In fact, I read 10 chapters in one sitting because I think it's the thing I've struggled with the most in my life. I've been reflecting a lot at 40.
I'm so happy to hear that. Have you gotten back in the closet?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I have been happier since I've come out the closet. Somebody chop that one up. Let's get it. We out of here, Nate. Whatever it takes. No, but in my walks now, I'm doing a lot of old man shit on this episode. Just flashing people, taking walks. It's bad. But I just reflect. I reflect, and that's what made me actually think about what I just said, because I was walking past a school bus and I saw the kids getting picked up. I just started thinking about my childhood. I started thinking about what I would do differently, where I'm at in life, where I want to be. And it wasn't all bad, just reflecting, just really thinking. And then I was like, what's some things I really wish I would have done differently, or I wish I knew at those ages? And those are the three things I thought about. And when I say react to things, when you grow up as, especially a young man, in hostile environments, especially, you're taught, don't let anybody play with you. That's it. Somebody put their hands on you, you go to work. Somebody try you, you go back at them. And this is programmed in your mind now as a young man that you are soft if you let somebody try you. Keep it 100. A lot of people kept it real and lost their careers, lost their life, lost their marriage. That keep it real shit overrated. And some people never learn that. It took me a long time to realize I did not have to react to everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I was outside and somebody wanted a problem, there was a point in my life when I had to show you that was a problem you didn't want. But at what cost?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But that's what was told to me. That was it. And so I carried that. And I think there was good to it. I think a part of that lesson was, that's kind of how I got to where I am. I let nothing stop me. I let no one stop me, and I didn't let anybody play with me. But I learned to do it in a completely different way as I got older.
Mm-hmm.
And everything does not need a reaction. Everything does not need a response. Everything should not get you outside of your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we have become comfortable with having triggers. I don't want to be comfortable with that anymore. I don't want to have triggers.
Right.
There shouldn't be anything that anyone can say or do, or anything that I could see or hear that takes me into a dark place because it's being said.
Mm-hmm.
No, we should be stronger than that and responsible for our actions. And that's what this book teaches you. It teaches you your emotions are not your friend. You have to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
Your feelings are not facts. And a lot of people operate as if they are. Your emotions are there more for guidance. It's not instructions. You don't have to react off of them. The most powerful human skill that you can have is self-control. And when you think about how many times did someone challenge you at work, right? And 60 seconds, a 60-second decision, you could throw your whole career away.
Mm-hmm.
Or in a relationship, you get into a petty fight. But that anger that you have causes you to say something in that moment that then turn that petty fight into a issue that our relationship might not survive. And it never had to go there, right? Those moments, they're life-changing. And I think sometimes people fall on the sort of, well, it wasn't meant for me. I've always hated that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, it was meant for you. You just punched your boss in the face. Like, I don't like some people use that as a crutch.
Right.
It wasn't meant for me. Like, no, it was meant for you. Like, you cheated. Like, or whatever the case. What's for you is for you doesn't necessarily mean just go out and fuck everything up and then be stuck with the results.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It does mean things will happen and you have to find a way to move forward. But you can't ever let your emotions lead in any situation. And one of the quotes, it says, every time you react emotionally instead of thoughtfully, you weaken your mind. You're rewiring your brain for failure, for conflict, and for regret. The argument with your spouse affects how you work. That email ruins your week, right? We should not have triggers. And then this is where we get to the word. What's the word, Nate?
Amygdala.
Amygdala. That is the word.
Believe it.
You did it.
I did it.
So I've learned about the amygdala. Do you know what that is?
It's part of your brain.
Right. Very small piece of your brain that is responsible for how you react to triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot about the old amygdala. I learned that it responds in 12 milliseconds.
Mm.
Your prefrontal cortex responds in 500 milliseconds.
Mm.
which means that literally you have an emotionally triggered reaction to something before the logic side of your brain even gets a chance to react. There's a gap.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I want to talk about, the gap. I learned from the book that there are typically 4 ways that people react when it comes to emotions. The first level are people who don't even think about it. They don't even realize that it's a choice. They just react.
Mm-hmm.
Usually those people will say things like, other people make me react that way. You did something. You're the reason I'm angry. It's always blaming others for what they do. The second level are people who actually do recognize that there's a choice, but they react with anger anyway. So you do realize you can go the other way, but no, this person deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up. And that's the second level where you'll justify your emotional responses as opposed to realizing that really is not going to help anything. Which, if I'm honest, I think I was stuck in that stage for a long time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You was getting a reaction out of me.
Mm.
And even then when I got to the show and people were saying nasty things, I wanted to pull up. Like, where you at? I want to see, do you really feel like this? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
And my friends are all telling me, you can't do this, man. I'm like, why not? Right? They should have left me alone. I wasn't bothering anybody. And I just could not get to that third level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are stuck on that second level. And the third level, because it took an incident for me to realize God is not playing with me anymore. And I've learned that in life, if you keep failing a test, you're going to keep failing it until you pass it. It's going to just keep happening. It's going to keep and that's what happened. And then I almost made a grave mistake.
Okay.
Let's just say, yeah, boy, I almost had to pay for that one. It wasn't my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I did not start it. But it again, emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lesson loud and clear. And then I led me right to this book, which takes me to level 3, which that's the level where you recognize that you have a choice and you make that choice based upon the person that you want to be and the goals that you want to accomplish, as opposed to how you feel immediately in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You take a second, right? And then the 4th level, which is the mastery level. It's the level you want to get to. That's the goal. Those are the people who realize that there's a choice and naturally make the choice not only of the person that they want to be and the goals that they have, but they know how to turn the emotions into something that will positively drive them. So you immediately know, okay, that's anger. I feel angry about this. You use that anger as motivation. You know that I feel disappointed about this. You use that as a lesson, right? Whatever the emotion is you feel, I feel fear. You use that to be excited. I also learned that people don't really always know what they feel. People are very short with the amount of language that they have when it comes to emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're not angry, you're hurt, right? Sometimes you're not sad, you're frustrated. Sometimes you're not frustrated, you're disappointed. You can't fix the emotion you feel unless you know what the emotion is that you feel. And if you are so caught up in constantly being emotional, a lot of the time you don't even know what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this. You seen somebody just, you're like, oh, what's up? I don't even know, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, breathe and figure out what exactly is wrong, right? And I just want to become a master of that. As I look back at my career, the moment I knew that I was ready for this book, because I had mastered that a little bit, and that reinforcement that I spoke about earlier was so loud to me because something happened at work. And I'm not going to say the person who did it because I love this person and this is not meant to bash them. It was a lesson for me. They meant well. Actually, it was a few people. Something happened. And it was one of those times when somebody did something at work, I was livid. I was so mad because it was just so disrespectful and it was right in my face. It was blatant. And I wanted to go off. And I felt like I had the right to. And I didn't. And I ate it. It sat with me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I beat myself up over it. I lost sleep over it because I didn't react. And I realized that's where that's coming from. That's coming from a childhood of being told, can't let nobody play with you. Man up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how many times in my life looking back, if I didn't man up, my homeboy wouldn't have got shot. We wouldn't have got shot at. We wouldn't have been in stabbings. Nobody would be in jail. We wouldn't have been in these fights. I can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
There would have been a lot of times those things didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my homeboy almost died in my arms
Mm-hmm.
over manning up.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't need to see that. That didn't need to happen. Thank God he's still here. I done been through some shit, manning up, that I wish I didn't go through, that I don't really ever talk about. But it's just the reinforcement of that I was beating myself up. Like, yo, you ain't man up, Mo. You was soft. How you let that person do you like that? I was telling myself that. And then when I finally got the courage to share that this had happened to me, the reaction from these people who love me were like, I'd have went crazy. Unless somebody do you like, I'd have turned up in there. I'd have turned it up. They all had that reaction, and then I started feeling it again. Damn, I'm a bitch. But no. It took for things to turn out the way they did, and for me to look back and realize I was handling it right the entire time.
Mm-hmm. I would say that I'm on level 4. After listening to everything, I feel like I'm
Now
there.
you can say that.
Yeah, I
yes.
can say it. I feel like I'm there. It reminds me of the time that I was arrested for being I was parked in a neighborhood and I went to go visit someone. But people saw my van and they were like, this strange van just keeps popping up. But I was visiting someone and I had been there like at least once a month. So I don't know why this particular visit, they just happened to notice my van. But um, yeah, so people in the neighborhood started harassing me. I would like drive to the store and I remember one time I stopped at a stop sign to leave out of the neighborhood and I hear, "Hey, hey, you stop right there." And I'm not thinking anything of it like who are they talking to? And as I'm I drive off and I see this lady in my rear view and she's taking a picture of my tags. And I'm like, the hell is wrong with these people? And then like the day after, I went to the store again, and as I'm turning onto the street, I see a kid on their bike um, in their front yard. And as I'm getting closer, they look at me and they're like, "Oh no!" They get on their bike and they just start pedaling away. And I'm like, "What is wrong with everyone?" So I found out that someone had posted my van on social media and they were like, "There's 2 men in here. They're staking out the neighborhood. They're driving all around the neighborhood and this and that." So people were terrified of me. And I did not know this until the day before I was parked in there because I live in my van, parked on the street. And some lady comes out and she's like, "What are you doing in there?" And I'm like, I'm just minding my business." And she was like, "You need to get from around here." And she called the cops. The cops came and swarmed me and they were telling me to get out the van and like the whole thing. And I was just as calm as I could be, like, "No, I'm not getting out of the van right now." I called the person that I was visiting, told them to come out because I'm out here by myself. And it's a whole scene. Like the neighbors started coming out, like all the things. And I'm just being as cool as I could be in the situation. And eventually I come out. The person came, and as soon as I get out, they arrest me,
Mm.
put me in the back of the truck. And I'm just sitting there waiting for them to let me out because they couldn't, like, I was just parked there. So there was, nothing going on. But the person who I was visiting
Mm-hmm.
was in distress. Um, eh, Cursing, "What's happening? What's going on?" And I'm like, relax. Like, first of all, I'm the one in the back of the truck.
What are you so hyped about?
Right. Like,
Right.
chill out.
Strong with your
'cause, yeah,
amygdala. What's the word name?
amygdala.
Hell is wrong with her amygdala?
So I'm like, okay, like I'm just in the back, just chilling, waiting for them to come get me out. And they did, and they had to let me go because there was no reason for them to arrest me in the first place. And then after they left and things started to calm down, there were still some people out just like watching to see what I was gonna do next. So I went up to them and introduced myself. And I was like, hi, I'm Nate. I'm the person you called the cops on. I live in my van and I'm here because I'm visiting this person. Meanwhile, this person, why the fuck y'all called the cops and da 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 da? And I'm like, relax,
Just
relax.
take it easy.
Yeah. So, and I remember because I posted all of this on social, I filmed the whole thing.
Mhm.
And I remember a lot of people asking, they were like, how are you so calm in this moment while they're cuffing you and walking you to the back of even prior to the moment when the lady's cussing you out and saying she's going to call the cops, all the things. They were like, how did you remain so calm? And I was just like, because I'm in control of my emotions. Like, this is a thing.
It's literally that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I used to think there are people like you and there are people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would admire people like you who could, in those moments, do that. And I think a lot of people, in fact, the book says that too. A lot of people think that that's just genes. It's
Mhm.
not. It's just like working out. It's no different than physical exercise. You have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have some genes that help. I don't think mine helped a lot at
Mhm.
all. I got to work a lot harder on my amygdala.
Uh-huh.
But it's possible for anybody. It's just something that you have to continue to try to learn how to do. You have to try it when you're not hyped, when you're in a calm state of mind. Start picturing yourself in stressful moments and just start handling them differently. And I'm telling y'all this because in my experience, it has never helped.
Mm-hmm.
Being the person that goes off the cliff, you never win. Nothing good ever comes from that. We've trained ourselves this way for years. You can hear it in people's speech. I'm not the one.
Mm-hmm.
You playing with. You got the right one today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when you go low, we going lower.
I used to always be like, why? Like when I hear that,
They
I'm
sit
like,
there like,
why
okay, go
can't we
ahead.
just have like a civil conversation?
You going lower? Go ahead. I'll be right up here. So don't bother me at all. And you so right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking back like, damn, it's embarrassing the times I let people get me off my square.
Mm-hmm.
I look back embarrassed on those moments. There's nothing I can do now but grow, but it'll never happen again. I can assure you of that because I'm practicing these methods. And the book tells you, I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to give y'all as much as I can because I know a lot of y'all ain't going to read it. So your amygdala has a negative bias. The problem is it doesn't know the difference between an email that pissed you off and a tiger attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
It sees all danger as the same level of danger. So whatever you tell your brain get it, but your amygdala is like, danger! It's a tiger in the room! You know what I'm saying? And it's just an email.
Mm-hmm.
That's the level of trigger response that it has. And it says we're like that because obviously at some point in time it made sense. Because if you miss danger, your life is on the line. If you forget about a gift, you're just an unfortunate situation. So your amygdala is trained to constantly be prepared for danger because that's what's important. But in a world where we're not out there like fighting for survival anymore, and you just might scroll on social media, you don't realize that what you're feeding yourself is all of those negative trigger responses on a daily basis. And you're training yourself to emotionally react to things. And then now the norm becomes, I've been triggered. You're not supposed to be triggered.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay. That's work on that.
Mm-hmm.
You should, and it's just so easy for people to be like, well, then people shouldn't try me. And people should, but y'all gonna be stuck on level one. And we all know people like that. Let's keep it a buck in here. We have all had to deal with some level oneers
Mm-hmm.
and level two. Because I was a level two. And level one is the worst.
Yeah.
The ones that don't even know it's a choice,
Mm-hmm.
they ruin your whole day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what's wrong with your amygdala that you did this to me, or your medulla oblongata, wherever Chris Tucker wanted to shoot you. But I just think this was game, man. As I was reading this book, I was like, I want y'all to know this. Sleep, for people who want to know, for the people who are emotional and saying, Mo, how can I get better? Well, it teaches you stop. That's the acronym. It tells you to do in moments where you feel like, yo, I'm about to turn up. Because the book made a valid point that I liked. All of the advice you see on not turning up, it tells you to do what? Like, take a second and think.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. You can't think rationally in a moment when your amygdala is going off.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't work. So it teaches you to literally just stop. Don't even think. Just stop. That's the first thing you do. The S is stop. The T is take a breath, but not just a regular breath, one of those military breaths where I think you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then release for 6 seconds. O is to observe, recognize what's the issue. What am I about to go to that place for? And then P is proceed. Once you understand what the issue is, connect it to what the problem is, but always respond in a manner. Don't react. Respond in a manner that is set up for who you want to be and what aligns with your goals, not with what you want to teach this person in the moment, because you can do permanent damage over a temporary decision. And I think that covers most of it. Sleep. When you get less than 7 hours of sleep, your amygdala is 40% more reactive to emotional triggers. So that's obviously why you're typically more stressed. And you are more likely to react in a negative way if you don't get a lot of sleep. So, I mean, sleep as you get older, you learn is not an option.
Yeah, I think I slept for like 10, 12, 11 hours.
That's beautiful sleep right
but
there.
I like I told you, I worked the night before from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and I was just tired. I think by like 8:30, I was in bed and I was like, damn, it's so early. It's so early. But I was out.
That's beautiful, man. But do with that what you will. And it just teaches you that once you learn to control your emotions, you become a director of your life who is in control of everything that's happened, as opposed to an actor who's just reading lines that you didn't actually write. And I thought that was deep, because you really can lose control of your life and damage a lot by just not being able to control your emotions. Now, I don't know if you are familiar with this story. It went viral over the weekend, and I'm addressing this for the social media people who follow up on this type of stuff. I don't want y'all to think I was ducking the smoke. There's a podcast called the Rory and Maul podcast. Rory is a white male. Maul is a black male. They're mostly known for having once been on the Joe Budden podcast. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Yeah.
They became popular, had their own space. Every once in a while on social media, it gets real, and the streets decide we need a body. And over the weekend, that body was Rory. He had some tweets dating back to, I want to say 2010, 2011 or so, that it was a lot of borderline racism and anti-black woman rhetoric.
Okay.
A lot of comments about black women's hair. There was some negative comments about Beyonce and her name, and some hood rat comments. It was what it was. It was not so nice comments, and a lot of it was centered around black women.
Okay.
And my question to you as a black woman is, do you think these things have an expiration date? And what I mean by that is, I think he gave a master class on how not to handle situations like these. He has a huge platform. This is also a lesson I've had to learn. Control your emotions, right? When people support you, they also have a right to be hurt.
Yeah.
By something you have done, even if it was 10, 20 years ago, especially when it pertains race. And the same way I said earlier that a lot of people lean on, it wasn't meant for me as a crutch. I think people also lean on, I was young as a crutch. I do think we grow. I do think we evolve. And I certainly have done some things when I was younger that I wouldn't want to be held accountable for today. Racist, not one of them. I was never a racist. At 14, 15, you're not going to find a racist tweet about me. You're not going to find me talking about white people. It was never a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always torn when these things happen, and I was looking at someone a certain way, and I never want this to come across as all white people are like this. I always want to make that clear. I have met some amazing white people in my life.
I'm happy to hear you say that.
I have.
Okay.
I also have been in spaces with white people who get a little, they enjoy black culture and they benefit from black culture.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel the best about black culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then a moment happens where now you have to address that moment. And his response at first, which he did willingly admit later, was like, he didn't care. He came off like, yo, I was young, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all trying to get me on a gotcha moment and you got nothing. And it got really heated in those spaces with these. And that's always been a thing with me is, where do you draw the line on if you found out that someone you support said some things that were derogatory towards your people years ago?
I have not been in a situation yet where someone I followed or was a big fan of, eh, later on, some old posts came out and they were racist. So I don't know what that would feel like if this is someone that I admire. Um, but I remember when the video came out with Justin Bieber, I can't say that I was ever the biggest Bieber fan, but I just don't believe that he feels that. I think that he was young and unfortunately the way that society is and racism and things like that, like if you're on that side, you I'm pretty sure those people there are people who have been curious to know what it feels like to be the majority or the dominating race or whatever. And these young kids, they may try to dabble in it, but I don't feel like Justin is racist. Like he grew up and he met black people and he knows more about our culture. I don't think that he feels that way. And so this person, I don't know who he is. I don't know what was said. I've never seen his podcast or anything like that. But um yeah, like if he's grown and changed and has more of a appreciation for his friends, the people that he works with, our culture, then I feel like I probably could forgive them if that was in the past. But again, I don't know because I don't know this person. I don't know how I would feel if I found out that Cher was low key racist back in her younger day. I just don't know. Or if she posted video, like, cause I love Cher, or my favorite band, Fantagram. I don't know how I would feel. I've seen them live like 9 times. I am a groupie. I will go see them anytime. And I just don't know how I mean, they have a band with Big Boy. So if something came out, I would probably be devastated, but I think that I would also know that they were young and they had time to grow and learn more.
And I completely respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we share it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of Jim Carrey.
Okay.
I got a lot of respect for Jim Carrey
Mm-hmm.
as a comedian. If I learned that Jim Carrey was out here on stages at some point in his life saying the things that, what's your man name from Seinfeld?
Kramer. Yeah.
Kramer
Yeah.
was saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at him completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't matter the year. Only because it's racism. That just was never
So
in
have
for me.
you right? And for me either. Did you feel the same way about Justin?
Yes.
Because you are a Justin Bieber fan,
Yes.
but you still listen to his music.
That his last album was the first. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I was about to lie. I only listened to one Justin Bieber album prior
Okay.
to that, and that was before I learned about the Justin Bieber video.
Okay.
And I loved that album enough to continue to listen to it after I learned about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But it did. It was a gut punch for me.
So
Go ahead.
how did you feel when we listened to the album a few months back?
You know what's wild about this conversation, Nate? Is for some reason, this is why I can't say that, no, I just can't forgive you. I can't. It depends, man. I'm just being honest. It depends. Because I forgave Justin Bieber. I can't
Mhm.
really tell you why. I just did. I think I've heard enough stories from people close to him, from knowing people who know him, from being around him, from watching him from a distance, from listening to the music. I think the brother has grown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel the same about Morgan Wallen.
I don't either. Yes. I don't either.
You know what I mean? It's just so I can't put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something to how you handle yourself after the offense.
Justin Bieber, I do know his music, but I can't say that I was a fan like that. Like, I don't know if I would even go to, I'd say I wouldn't go to a show, but I said the same thing about Ed Sheeran, and I saw him live before, and oh my gosh, he was amazing.
Another great example. I can't imagine
Ed Sheeran is racist?
I can't imagine
Oh,
is what I'm
okay.
saying.
Yeah, I can't either. But
Like,
if
you know what I'm
something
saying?
came out, I
Like Post Malone, I could see it.
but like, are we talking like young, like teens, or are we talking about something that was posted last year?
And that's the thing, Nate. I've gone through racist encounters. I had a racist encounter in high school.
Stay in the moment. Yeah, hey, look, check. I'm in the moment. Hey, look, stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. They try to hold you down. You just re-up and then you just reload it.
Basketball locker room. I believe this was 7th or 8th grade. I had just got to the school. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good basketball player. And I started taking over pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
The guy whose position I took, name was Matt. Matt Hassel, I believe was his name.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man before I got there. He could ball too. Just wasn't me.
Mm.
And so, we got into it in the locker room. And it's funny when you look back on things, because now it's very clear as why he was upset. I took his spot. But then I'm thinking like, oh, he's going to be a team. And sure enough, we got in the locker room and we got into an argument. I don't remember what it was over, but I remember the N-word came out of his mouth.
Mm.
I remember that clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say I wish I had this book back then. I did. I indeed did not control my emotions. I reacted. I had a combination lock in my hand, and I told him, if you call me that again, you're gonna receive a combination. He said it again. 34, 45, 36, Nate. You know what I'm saying? It was go time. And I think we both learned valuable lessons that day. I learned that racism cannot be the reason you act the way you act. I didn't understand why I got in trouble. I lost my starting spot. He won in the end.
Mm-hmm.
He go to the coach, he leaking from the face. Of course I lose my starting spot. I got suspended. It didn't matter how good I was. Coach didn't care. You can't do that to your teammate. I'm like, yo, he called me the N-word. Coach White, he don't care. Hey. And, you know what I mean? But the valuable lessons. I'm at a white school. I'm in, you know what I'm saying? Mike cares. Like, black kid coming on his team, the best player. I was like, you ever seen Fresh Prince?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Okay.
When he was playing basketball. And I learned I'd never let racism bother me again. I mean, I'll speak to it and I'll call it out when I see it, but I don't take it home. Like, it's not emotional to me. If you hate a whole race of people because of whatever reason, like, you just ignorant to me. It don't affect me, man. Whatever.
That's how I've always felt about it. I've never had a racial moment happen to me, but I had questioned how I would react in the moment. And I feel like I would just treat it like any other moment. Like, okay, that's how you feel. Like, you're not going to ruffle my feathers. Yeah, like, I'm not going to allow you to let me react this way.
And I've always felt like that about the word after that incident, because I think he learned a valuable lesson that day as well. You can't just go saying that to any black person in their face. But that taught me the word is nothing. Now, as I got older and the racism started to affect me in work or with the police, those are the situations that really make it difficult. At school, whatever the case, when you got to work twice as hard to get half as much, or you're not getting opportunities that you should get, and you know what that is. I think that's the kind of racism, the systemic racism, the institutional racism. But the word, I'm over that.
Yeah.
You can N-word yourself to death, bro. I have at it.
Mhm.
Whatever it does for you, But yeah, I just think I think be accountable when you have a platform and you offend people. It happens. I have learned that running from it or trying to fight it is usually not the best choice. That's when you really want to embrace it. And yeah, I guess this whole episode was really about reflecting on childhood, being accountable, and just learning the power of not to react.
Mm-hmm.
It has served me well in the later years of my life, let me tell you. And I think that's what the Patreon will be about today. I think I want to talk about some incidents. It's a new series called They Tried It,
Mm-hmm.
where I want to talk about some incidents that I've experienced in my career that were moments where I wanted to react and I didn't. And
Mhm.
looking back on it, I'm happy that I didn't. And I'll tell y'all what those incidents were.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of those moments, but yeah, no, I feel like I've always mostly been the person wishing that I said something,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always just like very calm about it because I just knew that it's not going to do me any good.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Let them have it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's at least 2 racists listening right now, Nate. They
Possibly.
you know it. They're going to be at the bar tonight. Yeah, talking about an amygdala. It's not.
I always felt like if that moment ever happened to me, I'd be like, no, it's Nate. It's Nate.
That's a flex. That is a flex. If somebody hit you with the N-word, you go, it's Nate. Shut up. Sir, it's Nate.
You're close. You were really close. Almost got it.
I'm going to punch him right in his amygdala. I ain't got no time for that. I'm kidding. The power of not reacting. Next week, bitches. Oh, yeah, your man Diddy is, they say he get more time now. They caught him with alcohol in it.
Yeah, ironically.
The epitome of you never learn.
If you're in jail and you have an opportunity,
I'm drinking.
I'm drinking.
Yeah, I'm getting drunk. It'll keep them coming. And we're going to have an after party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I should do?
What?
Because I find that it's really just apples and water and, what is it, baking soda?
The liquor that they drink in
Yeah.
prison?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna try some.
Yeah, let's do it.
Friday?
How long does it...
Wait, does that count as you drinking?
Yeah, that counts. But I think it takes like a couple of weeks. It has to ferment and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So next time I'm going to bring some apples. I'm going to bring like what I need, and then I'm going to leave it here. And then
Why am I excited about this? I'm actually going to do. Now, this is a better idea than when you wanted to go to jail. Like, I don't want to do that with you. But I'll try to drink, though. for
okay,
sure.
we'll do that.
All right.
I got to look up like the recipe, but I think you just put it in there and then you just let it sit. I think so. So we'll see.
What they call it? I can't. I think they got a name for it, don't they?
It's wine or alcohol. It depends on...
It's no way they call it that in prison.
Oh, it's hooch, I think.
There you go.
Okay.
That sounds more like it. There you go. Yeah, think about to have some hooch. All right, now you go wash your hooch.
I'm trying to restore the feeling. Same one that you killing. Set your Fresh Prince in effect. I was chilling. Trying to give a Jada her will, but she ain't willing. Days before August, I wrote this while on vacation. Thinking about the dime.